All right, okay, so I know it's going to be people in the comments instantly saying, Clan, I hear you, but did you hear about DeJounte Murray and the San Antonio Spurs being interested there and not wanting Trae Young and all that? We will get there, okay? That's going to be a separate video. Right now, I wanted to go over this recent interview with Trae Young in which he addressed the future and how it kind of sounds like he's talking to San Antonio. Not going to lie to you.
I want some rest! Are we having fun yet?
All right, so let's dive into this. So I saw a few comments recently. You know, I look at the comments every now and then, not all the time, but I look at the comments every now and then. And I saw some people saying, Clan, dude, like you're advocating for Trae Young, but isn't that skipping steps? Like, and you've been very open about not wanting to skip any steps. And I understand what you're saying. Getting Trae Young is not skipping any steps, actually. Now, I told you I don't want to say I'm on the fence, but I'm like either way, 50-50. If the Spurs were to go after Trae Young, it's a W. If they don't, it's still a W. We got so many picks. The reason why I'm actually comfortable with acquiring Trae Young is because all you would really have to give away is maybe one of your picks, maybe a couple, probably not, but you just give Atlanta Hawks their picks back. I don't know what else it would entail. Obviously, it's going to tell a little bit more, but I don't necessarily think that this is like a dire situation in which we can't afford to get Trae Young. With all the future picks that we have, with all those second round picks that you can even package and try to get a first, there's no reason for me to sit back and be worried. I don't think that you're skipping any steps by any means if you were to go after Trae Young. So let me get that out of the way right now. Now, if it was one of those situations where we have to give away the entire house for Trae, like I'm not okay with that. But with the amount of cap space that the Spurs have, with the amount of picks that we have for the future, there's no reason for me to really trip about it. Like, I would be totally happy with Trae Young, and he would really make us better. And this right here, this interview alone got me at least excited. Because I just don't think he's going to stay with Atlanta. We already seen that the Atlanta Hawks are going to be looking to trade either him or DeJounte, and how well things have gone for DeJounte. I hope that they're silly enough to get rid of Trae Young. I hope that they're silly enough to do that. All right, so this is one quote in which he said, every year teams are different. Obviously, I want to be here, but I want to win. I want to be here, and I want to win a championship here and do that. But I want to win. I mean, that is pretty much all it is for me. That is my motto, and that has been me from the beginning. So he wants a W. Obviously, he wants to be in Atlanta. He would love for things to have been perfect in Atlanta. He said on many occasions that I wanted to be that guy. Like, I want to be the one to come to Atlanta and be like, he didn't say this name, but be like a Dwayne Wade, right? Be like a Tim Duncan and be with one team and win championships. But unfortunately, that is not going to happen in Atlanta. I'm just going to be honest. And then he says, I believe it can be here. We just have to make it happen. So he's still, he's still being polite. But this in particular is what I really liked. Okay. This felt like a direct message to the San Antonio Spurs or any team that just needs him, needs his services.
Yeah, I mean, obviously I let them know that they came here. People don't understand. Like, I don't mind, like, people may think that I have to feel like I'm the best player on the team or first option. Like, I mean, I'm not that way. I've never been that way. So I'm just a guy that's trying to get everybody involved and win the game. And I know when we win, everybody eats. So that's just been my motto since I was in high school, college. So being the best player on my team doesn't matter. Or being the second doesn't matter. Like, I just want to win. So if I was telling somebody that, that's probably what I'd tell them, and let them know that they came here. They're going to have a point guard that's going to get them the ball and make sure that they...
Yeah, so he's saying if someone comes here, hold on.
If I was telling somebody that, that's probably what I'd tell them, and let them know that they came here. They're going to have a point guard that's going to get them the ball and make sure that they...
But anyways, yeah, so he's basically being pretty open about, hey, I'm not a selfish player. I just want to win. I don't have to be the first or the best player on the team. I can be a second option. I can be a third option. It doesn't matter to me. And that sounds like San Antonio Spurs. Now, I don't have to bring up like all of the myriad of examples of Trae Young wanting to be a San Antonio Spur. Like he's given it away enough. There's been enough hints where I don't think that we have to speculate on this or think about it that much. Like, no, it's enough evidence there, not only with him, but the hints from his dad as well. It all stems towards, it all stems from a love for that type of culture and that winning culture. And he wants to be a part of a winning culture. If that was somewhere else, it would be somewhere else. But I think that he truly does believe in what the San Antonio Spurs are doing, and he can see some of our games and instantly say, oh man, I could make this team better. Like, he sees how fun it looks, especially for a point guard and a guy like him, where I could really make Victor Wembanyama that much better. I don't want to hear, I don't want to be like mean, okay? I don't want to be a jerk, but I really don't want to hear anybody say, and I can't take it serious when people say like Trae Young going to the Spurs is a mistake. I don't know what you mean by that. If you want to address the defensive woes of Trae Young, don't get me wrong. He's not the best defender in the world, right? Like, we've looked at the charts. He's improved, but he's still pretty below average. Like, he's not a great defender. Even with his size and everything, it makes it that much worse. But I would believe that under Popovich, he's not going to be able to afford to not play defense or argue with refs on certain plays. Like, that's not going to happen, okay? He's going to be the best possible defender he can be. Will that be an average defender? No, he'll probably still be a below average defender due to his size and everything. But I don't know where this idea came from that every single player on our team has to be a A1 defender. That is not necessarily the case. That is not the case at all, actually. If the Spurs were to add another defensive wing, you're good. You're fine. I mean, it really frustrates me because sometimes I see these comments and it's like, dude, you're a Spurs fan. I mean, we had Tony Parker for many years, 17 years he was with the Spurs, I believe, 4 championships. Like, what are we talking about? Obviously, on the offensive end, you can definitely make up for some of your woes on defense. Like, obviously, we should know that at this point. And Trae Young, I'm getting tired of this downplaying of what Trae Young is. Now, I'm not going to sit here and pretend like all is lost if we got Trae. All right, obviously not all is lost. Everything will be fine. Like I said, either way, I am cool. But man, for people to just come out and just say like, I don't want them, or we don't need them, and all this, it's like, yeah, we're good either way. But you gotta acknowledge that getting Trae Young on this team would be insane, right? Like as much as Wembanyama has improved and how we going into this draft, and hopefully we can just keep our pick, right? Or 2024 even, and you can get like a Modest Buzelis, who's a good defender, okay? I know some people say some stuff. He's a good defender. Or you just get a defensive wing in general, you're in a much better spot. I mean, you're a couple steps forward there, man. So I don't know. I just think that this would be a good move for the Spurs to do it, and I have a reason to believe that they will, or at least attempt to. Okay, obviously we attempt to. Now I think at the end of the day they wouldn't give away like Devin Vassell or Jeremy Sohan. I don't think that that'll be the case. But I mean, I don't know if Atlanta is silly enough to make it happen, and they silly enough to make it happen. I mean, we've had reports where Atlanta could possibly try to build around DeJounte. I have no idea. We're going to have to wait and see. We'll get more and more information after the playoffs is over, obviously, for obvious reasons. But it's going to be fun nonetheless. And I think Trae Young, this is just another example of him giving a few hints, okay? He's being very open about this. And this type of language is very professional, I will say that. But this type of language is definitely something that you hear from somebody that's they feel like they're on their way out. Like, you don't mention it this often, but I want to win. Yeah, I mean, I want to get championships here, but like, I want to win though. Like you don't just keep saying that. Anyways, I will give it to you guys later, man. Until next time, bye.